back to Vegas Insider. My name is Jill Bajol, and I'm here to talk about Week 15 football, more specific, my favorite prop bets. I have 3 of them for you. Before I get into that, though, I do want to remind you to go ahead and subscribe to Vegas Insider's YouTube channel. It's really easy. It's right down there. You click the button. You can see more of me and all of our other creators with their best bets as well. But moving on to my first prop bet, I'm looking at one of the best AFC teams against one of the worst AFC teams, and that, of course, is Kansas City versus the Houston Texans. I am looking at the Texans for a prop bet, and that is going to be the Texans over 17.5 team total points. Hear me out on this one. The Houston Texans looked good against the Cowboys last week. I would even say they outplayed the Cowboys last week. They realistically only lost their lead in the final moments of the game with the Ezekiel Elliott touchdown. The offense just looks better with Davis Mills at the helm. Even with large spreads, the Texans have fought to keep the games within them. Notable games last week with the Cowboys and against the Eagles. The Texans have been held to 17 points or fewer 6 out of their last 7 games, but Davis Mills is back, and he has thrown 2+ touchdowns in multiple games this season. And I'm not saying just 2. More than 3 games this season has he thrown 2+ touchdowns. Looking at Kansas City, they allowed the imploding Denver Broncos to score 28 points. That's a lot. It is also their 3rd road game where I'm expecting to start seeing some slip-ups on Kansas City's side. So I like the Texans to get over 17.5. My next bet, I'm going to be heading on over to the NFC South, where the Saints and the Falcons are taking each other on. This is going to be a big and important game. However, I don't think it's going to be as big of a game for Mr. Alvin Kamara. That is why I'm taking him under 58.5 rushing yards. He has been inconsistent with the run game this season, and that's not necessarily all his fault. He's had a limited quarterback, a lack of receiving weapons, and combination of poor blocking, improper usage, and his own questionable effort. That I will blame Alvin Kamara for. Atlanta, they are one of the worst run defenses in the league. However, that lackluster Saints run offense is not going to get to capitalize on it. What I think they will capitalize on is the Falcons, who allow teams to pass a lot. The Falcons have allowed successful plays on almost 53% of pass attempts on their own side of the field. That is the 4th worst in the NFL this season. Next game I am looking at is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buccaneers. More specifically, Joe Burrow to throw over 1.5 touchdowns. Now, I think Cincinnati is just a seriously good offense. They're putting up 25.8 points per game this year. It's number 7 in the NFL. They can also capitalize on a poor Tampa Bay secondary. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, they're not going to have any trouble getting open against that secondary that's allowed 11.5 yards per completion in Week 14. 49ers really showed off the holes in that Bucs defense. They were absolutely picked apart and gave up 400 yards. I think it's going to happen again with a fierce Cincinnati offense. And I'm rounding this out. Tampa Bay, there is no team chemistry. Here we are 15 weeks into the season, and there is not one little bit of chemistry that I can look at and count on for Tampa Bay. But as a quick recap, I am going to be taking Houston Texans over 17.5 team total points, Alvin Kamara under 58.5 rush yards, and Joe Burrow over 1.5 touchdowns. And also a quick reminder, seriously, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already to subscribe to our channel. And you definitely want to like this video as well because it's a great video. For Vegas Insider, my name is Jill, and that was my 3 best Week 15 prop bets. Have a good one.